So I'm just leaving the movie theater here in the Bronx. It's a really nice theater. It's called the Concourse Village or something to that effect. And it's a really, really cool theater. I enjoy going there. They have the reclining seats. Each seat is huge and big and really comfortable. And all the theaters are very, very intimate. And it's like shocking, you know, how cool this theater is. And I just saw Bad Boys for Life. And I have to start off by saying I was hating. Yeah, before the movie started, I was hating. And that's not cool, man. But I'm a person. I'm a human being. I just... Martin Lawrence looked so bloated to me in those trailers. And oh my God, it's like every chance I looked, if I went on Facebook for 2 seconds, it would pop up. And it was just like over the top, pushing this product of the Bad Boy for Life. Bad boy, what you gonna do? And don't get me wrong, the first one I liked. The second one I thought was okay. But I was already prepared from the very beginning. I was hating. I was like, oh, what is this propaganda? You know, they have this, you know, they start off where there's this chase, or what appears to be some sort of chase. Like the cops, he's riding this 911 Porsche. So you got this guy driving a 911 Porsche through the streets like a maniac. And he's just like, and when I say he, I'm talking about Will Smith's character, Mike Lowrey. And Mike Lowrey's, he's like riding through the streets, you know, he's wearing these suits. And it was just, I was hating. I'm not gonna lie. I was hating. I was just like, once again, you know, just like, I just felt like this was some sort of psyop, a movie that was gonna just let you know how police are rogue cops, and we're gonna glorify these rogue cops. They're gonna do so much illegal stuff, and the movie is going to just be one big propaganda piece. That's what I was feeling. I was feeling that way. I mean, hardcore. I was just like, this is truly a propaganda piece. And I was just hating. And from the very beginning, and then when I see that it wasn't a car chase, this was just a way for him, Martin Lawrence's character, to get to the hospital where his daughter was having a baby by the guy that she went on that first date with in the first movie. The same guy, I believe it was the same actor, very weak chin, you know, very scary, kind of nervous guy. And in the movie, he's wearing a military outfit. So, you know, they're definitely, right away, I'm thinking, all right. So now they're pushing that the father has, I was hating. So I didn't like any of that stuff. I didn't like the chase scene. My heart rate did not jump over 86 watching that car chase. And I was just like, are all car chases trash? Should I go back and watch what I believe was a good car chase? You know, like Ronin. You know, like The French Connection. Even the one with Nicolas Cage when he was chasing after it was like the James Bond guy. I can't remember at the moment. You know, who also played, you know, Harrison Ford's father in the Last Crusade. You know who I'm talking about. You know, it just felt so like this. My heart rate didn't go up at all. I was like, And then Martin Lawrence was playing this role, and the role was just so like cliche, but I have to give him credit. It was the same character they played before. It wasn't a lot of, he was true to that character, you know. And then I was thinking, oh my God, we're getting ready for all this gratuitous violence that's gonna happen. That I remember the second movie having, when they were shooting and fighting the Jamaicans and all that kind of stuff, where he was like shooting through the wall And, you know, that's not cool to me. I don't think that's cool to me in any way. You know, even even in a cinematic way, it was not cool when it happened back then, all those years ago. So I was hating. And then what happened? There was a shift for me. And I think Martin Lawrence's character really helped me with the transition of shifting my hating button to, like, I was on the throttle of hate, and then Martin Lawrence started to kind of grow on me. What was interesting though was that from the first car chase scene to the hospital to the very next scene, well, the next scene was when he was in the hospital. So let's say after that sequence, he had lost like 15 pounds. And he looked great. Then I also noticed that Martin Lawrence looks really good on the right side of his face. Whereas for the left side of his face, his jaw is just not strong enough. You know, and when you look at him straight, in certain scenes, it wasn't that great, but his right side was really strong, really looked good. He had a slender build. His shoulders were a little better. Like, you could see his gait on his right side is honestly his best side. And it seemed that Will Smith's side, he's very strong on that left side. So they didn't pair them up enough where Martin could have been in this position more. I think it would have been better. But with that being said, Martin started to grow on me. His character started to grow on me. It felt like his acting was pretty on point, you know? Like he was digging deep into a really, really comfortable space in this character. And finding the outrageousness of his character started to become a little more believable as the movie progressed. And I have to say that throughout the movie, I was very impressed with Martin Lawrence and his ability to like kind of be like, his timing is great. His comedic timing is great. And along with his comedic timing, I also felt that Martin Lawrence's character was true. It was believable. And I liked that. I thought it was okay, you know. And as the movie you know, towards the end of the movie, you know, I laughed out loud. It took a while for me to laugh out loud. I'm not sure if I can remember the exact sequence. I might have to start, you know, just get my brain starting from the very where I'm at. And you know, this video I don't intend to go scene to scene because it's not as propaganda pieced as I thought it was gonna be. So this is gonna just be like a quick review of it was entertaining. Like, I remember when there was like a F-bomb dropped in the hospital while the baby was there. And then none of the men had any receiving blankets. Like, come on, you just don't put a brand new baby who supposedly just popped out and you don't have a receiving blanket on. So I tell you, I was hating. I was like, there's no receiving blanket. What the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, I thought it would have been cool to see Martin with the grandmother would have fussed a little bit. Let me put that on you. You know, but it wasn't, like, it felt very low budget, that scene. It might have been part of the trailer aspects of the movie in the beginning. So yeah, because Martin was a little heavier in that first beginning scene. So this was something that they were probably, you know, doing really quickly and moving fast. At least that's how it felt. It felt like those scenes were like a little bit pushed and not very, the background, all of it. And then, you know, who the hell drives down that road where all those hotels are? I can't even remember. I've been on that many times. I've been in a few of those hotels. But no one in a rush will be taking this route. And it just was like a little irritating. And then I'm trying to wonder, does that 911 have all-wheel drive? And I believe it must have all-wheel drive for it to for them to comfortably put it on the sand. Like I say, I was hating. I was totally like not into it in any way. I was like, oh, this is trash. These people are playing us. Like, come on. Let me see. I feel like I have way too much glare here. Let me see. Boom, boom, blow. I don't know. But anyway, it's all good. So, I was. It took me a while to, like, everything just was looking off and wrong to me, I like the relationship and the way the Martin Lawrence character, his wife, I like the way she looked. She felt real. She felt genuine. She was a little older than him, so it was a little bit of that beta male kind of thing coming out. When a younger guy deals with an older woman and he's, and he marries her and stays with her for 25 years, there is some sort of mothering that's needed, and his character was true to that, and her look was true to that. He wouldn't have had a wife that didn't look like that, and she was attractive still, but they wanted to show how that was done well. I don't know what they wanted to show. I kind of lost track of my thought there because I got a loud muffler next to me that's so tacky, and it's so sad that these people are driving cars that sound like lawnmowers, and they're not even from Japan. You're in America. You can have exhaust, you're not in Japan. You don't need to have it sound like that. But what you're gonna do? Some people think lawnmowers sounds are good for cars, but I digress. And the character started to, the next scene was basically Martin Lawrence challenging Will Smith to a run. They were gonna run, and if they make the run, then they'll quit their jobs because he says Martin Lawrence looks into his grandbaby's eyes, and it's changed him and it's made him something different, and he wants to stop with the violence and the gratuitous violence that we keep seeing out of these bad boy movies. It's disturbing. So what we have is they start to run down the streets, and what we get is Will Smith being shot in public on a Miami street, and the direction that motorcycle was going, he would have been caught in 10 minutes. Every motorcycle would have been just that was impossible for that to be realistic in any way. Plus, the person that shot the Will Smith character was given strict instructions not to kill Will Smith until the end of this. This guy has this contract that he's going to fulfill these wishes of revenge. This is a tale of revenge, where we have this woman who's in a prison, who escapes out of the prison. And when she escaped out of the prison, I was like, this is trash. You're telling me that an officer is going to be slamming with her baton the women that are folding laundry. She's such a tyrant that she's slamming the batons on the ground. Slamming the baton on the folded clothes to knock the folded clothes all around. She's just such an evil, horrible person. This is what they're trying to depict Mexican prisons, Mexican women prisons like this. And what happens is this woman has conjured up some sort of scheme, and this by using sorcery and witchcraft, where the officer walks up to this woman. Mind you, we're talking 25 years later. This woman is supposed to have been in prison for 25 years. In this movie, we got a woman who's been in jail for 25 years. And at this 25-year mark, she decides to escape from prison. She escapes from prison, and how does she escape from prison? She attacks a prison guard with the help of 15 other prisoners, and while the police are responding to this riot or this attack on an officer being shanked, they had enough time. Well, what we see is two officers pick the officer up off the ground and throw her into a damn ambulance that then leaves the prison. So that means there was an ambulance on deck at the prison Oh, what are you saying? Like in Mexico prisons, they keep an ambulance on deck to be ready to escort people out of the hospital? Is that what we're saying is going on? What? And it look, as soon as I see these guards pick this, what they were supposed to believe is a guard on the ground, pick her up off the ground, it looked so fake right away. I was like, oh, come on. That's the woman that did this. You know, it was just, and then there's another officer who he hears this thudding sound coming from the washing machines, and he looks in the he peers in the washing machine, and what does he see? He sees a woman's body, the officer. He realizes there's a switcheroo, but by the time that happens, the ambulance was hit with a Molotov cocktail that looked like a scene out of an independent movie made out of some sort of college, and the scene was Molotov hits ambulance. And they took that stock footage and they used it in the movie. This Molotov cocktail looked ridiculous flying in the air. Like, I understand that we're using digital cameras, and I get it's not the same, but come on. I know it's not film, but come on. What the hell was that? This big budget movie having such a silly looking bottle just floating in the air. Whatever. So now we have the ambulance on fire. The woman in the ambulance then is able to kill at least one of the men that's there. The next one jumps out and he goes to run and he gets shot down. And the first thing I thought was like, yo, you're going to have a crossfire. There's going to be some friendly fire. You can't just be shooting at a man while he's running out of where the person is. So I was hating. Still hating at this point, as you can see. And the movie just started to get to the point where I was just like, really? Really? This hot old lady is like, you know, escaping from prison, obviously. And the next scene is when we see her talking to this young man. And she's telling this young man that he will be avenging the death of his father. And now that she's home, she went into the urn where the father's ashes was, and she retrieved some sort of memory stick. And in this memory stick, they was able to, with the memory stick, they were able to go through all the files, and these files were basically a hit list, you know, and Mike Lowrey happened to be on this hit list. Why? No one knows. So the first one to be killed after this woman tells this young man, do not, well, they do express that you find out right away that when he rescues her from the ambulance, that's her son. Because in Spanish, she refers to him as my son in Spanish, mi hijo. And I thought it was, you know, what you gonna do when they come for you? It was very predictable. I wasn't surprised in any way that this kid was her son, and I'm hating. The whole time I'm hating at this point. But what you gonna do when they come for you, bad boy? I keep saying that. So, you know, I kind of hated that. It didn't look realistic. It felt, oh my God, what's going on here? Like, it's just, they were just trying to layer this movie in a way that was just so predictable. So done. It's like, really? So that was the part I hate. I think I'll stop here and just say the movie just turns and changes, and I stopped hating and I started to appreciate, and I did, and it was good. It turned out to be a good movie, and it took a while for me to stop hating every second of it, but I would recommend this because it wasn't the gratuitous violence that I was expecting, and it wasn't pushing the agenda of police working outside the law, which it was. You know, we got warrantless searches, we got abuse of power, we have violence being thrown around with everyone. We have two older gentlemen that are trying to make it in this world of violence, and next thing you know, Mike Lowrey gets shot maybe 3 to 4 times with what they refer to as a P90. It looked like one of those guns from the Stargate Atlantis, where the bullets seem to be on top of the weapon, and it's not like a clip that goes into the grip. It's some sort of bullet system that rides along the top. I know nothing about these guns or weapons. So when I saw the scene, I was like, oh, he got hit with a paint gun, because it looked like a paint gun. This big budget movie, and Will Smith looked like he got straight up hit with a paint gun. It wasn't even like the shirt didn't even rip. It was just like pow, 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 paint gun. It looked so bad. Wow. I was like, what? This is trash. Like, what's going on here? Why are they just skimping out on all of these little scenes? So then, and once again, they were on the strip. They keep them on the strip. They're nonstop on the strip. I would like it better if they were on the alley. You know, everybody's been to Miami already. You know, like, come on, let's get them in the alley. That would have been a much more exciting car chase, or even shooting scene, or whatever it was. Why is everybody on the strip? No one will be on the strip that knows anything about this damn place. But, you know, they pay all that money to show off all those little lights and those trashy hotels. Oh, they're so trashy. You know, you're going to the strip, you think you're going to have a good time. My God, it's like Bug City. But anyway, I digress from that. So, Will Smith's character gets shot, and next thing you know, he's, this is when I started to, like, really get into the character of Martin Lawrence, and the way he was in the church of the hospital church looked like a hospital church. It felt like a hospital church. There was just massive emotion, and his acting was spot on. Good job, Martin Lawrence. Good job. That was the hating section. Now let's go to the parts where everything is good. Boom.